What up, everybody? Lonnie here. Been having some questions lately, mostly in regards to TXC. I've seen on some Facebook groups and some on Telegram and people coming up to me directly in regards to some things about the mining part. And so I figured I would do a little quick intro and discussion kind of thing. I'm going to use ChatGPT as a talking point and following point, but what we're talking about is hash. And what is hash? Because there are some people who are confusing hash with your daily reward, and that's not the same. So the hash is the attempt of solving these puzzles which earn the blocks. The blocks are the rewards, which are the coins that are being distributed daily. So having more hash is having more power and more capability in order to guess more, in order to get more more yield of the coins by solving that problem. So, there's kilohash, megahash, gigahash, terahash, and there's a certain minimum threshold that you have in order to yield the blocks, which is a lot lower than what you actually see. When you're going into TXC and we see this hash rate is in the terahashes, it's more than what's necessary for the blocks themselves. And what you're seeing in the amount of coins shared, this is scripted and set in stone. There is a maximum cap that is capable. And then there's the efficiency standard that we're seeing. The hash rate going up doesn't make more coins magically appear, because there is a rate of which the blocks are mined. So this hash rate is how many guesses per second a mine or network can make. So while there's a minimum to mine, and you're like, okay, well, we have enough to mine. Why are we getting more? Why do we need more hash if we're already having enough to mine? Well, when you have a stronger network with more hash power than what's necessary, not only are you mining, now you're able to multi-mine. And in TXC's case, these mines are also mining Litecoin and soon to be mining Dogecoin as well. And again, that's still not the value. The value even goes further, as the network that is TXC that allows currencies and tokens to be traded across it, having more hash power and those guesses per second allows for transactions to happen across that network seamlessly and more easily. So more hash doesn't create more coins, it creates a more stable network, which allows transactions to happen faster. So of the network, how big the network is, 100 terahash, and you contribute 10. That is if you're an individual miner. So with TXC, you're not at home using your computer mining and contributing to the network. It is a project of built mines, and you're contributing as far as getting a share of the mining power based on your contribution, and then based on the percentage of mining power that you get is what your hash rate is labeled as, even though you're not actually contributing to it. So hash rate, hash power matter in mining because, again, more hash, more network security, more network ability, and resistant to attacks. The payout and the reward is set, and that is scripted in the specifics of it. So when we jump into the specifics of TXC, proof of work, that means that it's mining. The same mining algorithm as Litecoin and Dogecoin. That's why the mine is capable of getting all three. It requires real hardware. It's not just basically an internet or contributing factor like some of these other ones that are trying to be lower energy consumption mining. So they're just basically kind of made up, more of like, they kind of scream fake. But so like this one requires real hardware. You can't just say I'm a TXC miner or like even a Bitcoin or Litecoin miner. You have to have the physical ASICs. So it's not a fake yield coin and smart contract Ponzi's that aren't actually mining. So the TXC network right now is about 1.25 terahash is kind of the average. That's what in this range. We've seen 1.25 is kind of the high. We've seen some 1.23. We've seen some 1.12. So it's kind of that is the power right now. As more mining infrastructure is installed, that hash rate is going to increase. The network becomes harder to attack and more secure for usage, which makes the transactions easier and safer. It's going to be more. There'll be more utility in it. We're looking to get to 5 terahash pretty soon. I think that's reasonable when Victoria comes on and Conroe finishes up. And currently we've purchased, TXC has purchased enough for 30 terahash. And that some of that is in transit. It's not, they're having to find the sites and stuff. So that's progress to be determined. We don't have an exact timeline, but hopefully next year pretty quickly as things get going pretty well. How the individuals participate, represent ownership. The hash shares represent ownership, a portion of the mines, total hash, total shares sold. You receive about 0.5 of the daily contributions per 1,000. Design detail, anti-Ponzi characteristics. Per share rewards decrease as more hash is sold. Early miners are diluted over time. No guaranteed returns. What the mine yields when we come into this fluctuates. There's no guarantee that there's going to be 100,000 tokens every single day, no matter what. The mine actually has to produce that. So what the mine produces is dependent on the utilities of the network and the energy consumption. Power failure in the area could disrupt the mine. And that's why building multiple mines in multiple areas creates a redundancy to protect from one section or one area having more difficulty than the other or losing power. So no exponential payout. It's fixed. And no dependency on an endless recruitment. Eventually it's sold out. Hash rate versus TXC supply. Why growing hash rate is bullish. The more infrastructure investment, the more sunk cost into the network, more resistant to manipulation, higher credibility with miners and exchanges. And the biggest thing is like we were shown last night on how close the downtown digital dollars are from coming is that there's going to be an increased demand on the network while more people are looking to purchase the coin to handle the fees per transaction and that more usage, more supply, more demand. Again, that's all heavier burden on the infrastructure. So by having more hash and more mining stability, that will all be balanced. So that when there is high frequency or high usage, whether it's high transactions from an event, it wouldn't drop the mining output. The mining would stay stable, and you also want a consistency in time for the transactions to occur. You don't want there to be a delay in network when somebody's trying to complete a transaction, and it might take an hour because of network overdraw on the network. So that's why you need a stronger mine to be more valuable in that aspect. So hash rate is how fast the network guesses. Hash power is how big your share of those guesses is. TXC uses real proof of work mining with real ASICs, and rewards are distributed mathematically based on the hash share ownership, not recruitment, not promises. That's thrown in there from all the Ponzi scheme and multi-level stuff being thrown around. So we're seeing the average per miner came down because the average miner, I believe, is just under 5. Our miners are still kind of growing. We're up to 55,000 miners who have a piece. Some of the big gainers, miners by county. But so here's the hash power. We're going to get back to that. So the green line shows the purchase power. This is what has been, which is on the order books and waiting to be installed kind of thing. It's not all here. Some of it has to be shipped in still, and that's why there was a big spike. But now we have to fill this gap. So in order to continue the remaining growth and to create another one of these, the gap between what is sold now and what is purchased, we got to contribute our end as community members. And what we also want to see is this continue to go up. The turning on of and finishing the issues that were with Victoria are going to be huge. Um, Fingers crossed. I don't want to say exactly when, and I don't want to, over promise. I want to be kind of more on the under promise side. But Conroe by the end of the year, early January, is probably pretty likely a possibility that we could see a nice jump in this, and hopefully with a couple more areas and mines creating that redundancy issue, we don't see these swings, or if we do, it's more like this from 1.23 to 1.19 and not from 1.25 to 1.1, which seems very small. And as we can see, it didn't really disrupt the market or the yield too much. We went on 12.3 1.25, 12.4 1.11, and if you do 12.3, we actually had a higher yield over here, because this is 12.9 and this is 12.9. So you can see that necessarily just because the hash actual rate fluctuates, it doesn't always directly correlate specifically to the actual TXC coins that are yielded, because within that hashing power there's still difficulties. Some blocks can be more difficult to get the full yield, just based on network demand. So just wanted to kind of touch on this. There is some confusion I've heard where people think that they're losing their hash power, and that's not what's happening. Your hash power is your hash power. What is getting smaller is your TXC reward, the reward from the block. The blocks are coming out, and they're staying. Couple down days as the networks are cycled through, whether there be downtime because they're trying to adjust over here, turning one on and turning it off, trying to make sure that all things are working properly, and you get a dip down or a power problem, causes, or just the blocks themselves become more difficult because of network configurations, and you see this dip. 76,000 is very low. That's below the goal. The goal is to maintain 95,000 as kind of a baseline. Optimistic in a strong network, we would see 105, probably much more consistently, and we did see 105,000 on I think that was like Tuesday or something, on 12.7. If this could become more of a benchmark and we see like this 99 and we see these 95 as a more consistent baseline, that's showing that the network is going to be spread out, and that redundancy factor is going to create that consistency to get rid of these. And this will also be telling for people who are wanting to use those layer 2 for the network, that by utilizing them, they're not going to put a draw on the system and create it to have lower performance, and we'll have a much more strong network. So just a quick little video. You're not losing your hash. The reward share is going down based on more people having a slice of the pie. The TXC pie, say it's 100,000 coins a day is the pie. It needs to be shared by everybody who's coming to the table with the slice. Some people have bigger plates and have more hash power that they're contributing. Some people have smaller plates because they have less hash power that they're contributing based on their share. It's all a percentage. That's all the same. It's not going to go up to 200,000 coins magically when all these mines are built. It's not going to go down because a mine goes down completely and we go down to 1,000 coins being yielded. It's going to be more consistent, and the daily reward is based on your hash, but it is not the same as your hash. So a couple things I wanted to clear up for you guys. Feel free to share this if you need to when you're introducing somebody. I know it's a little bit more of the technical jargon and it might confuse some, but if anybody needs anything specific broken down and explained, I'm here for it. I love talking this stuff. Seeing my pops build this mine out is pretty cool, and love getting the updates when things are online and then things perform better. So progress next year should be big. Hope everyone has a good day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.